Yeah, part two on fostering your F2s and F3s out on the free range with that uh, fighting game hen. I just wanted to mention one thing here. A lot of your poultry um, types of birds are on a decline, except for the commercial breeds. So if you want to have yourself a nice little hen house out there with a few chickens and get your eggs, you want to do that, I would encourage you to use the fighting game hen. They will give you a number of eggs, and if you run them with your lighting and that, you will get enough eggs to what you want. And stay away from your commercially bred birds unless you're looking specifically to raise meat birds. But again, the idea is you are also preserving a bird that could disappear eventually. A lot of Bantam stocks have. This is not considered a Bantam. Um, it's not against the law to keep these chickens. It's against the law to fight the chickens, you see. But this is a benefit that comes along with this sport, I guess you might say, as you have in the hens, because you can have a great number of them and will be pretty much like regular chickens. And especially if you're into free ranging things, you want to probably stay away from the white birds. And this is more of a natural color bird. Plus, it has its stronger genetics that give it that edge when you're free ranging your chickens, and then they come to the coops and you let them out or whatever, and they will nest like every other chicken does, and you will get those eggs that way on a free range basis. And you will not get high numbers as you do, like 300 eggs a year or whatever, but you will get a decent amount of eggs, no problem. And again, you probably will have a slightly less mortality rate when you're free ranging, because they're not white, and they do seem to be able to have that extra edge of survival, coincidentally, even though they've been selected for it. But to get back with, that would be a nice way to start out your coop if you just want to stay with chickens only, and I would recommend that breed for hatching. You can have your silkies and your cochins too. They're nice. They're little bantams and everything, and you can do your incubation that way. If you just, you can actually hatch all of your game chickens that way too, and raise them however you want. It doesn't really make a difference. And have your production that way. That would be an ideal way to go, and it would keep that breed alive. Again, getting back to your F1 pheasant releasings and getting them out there as early stage as possible, this hen is excellent. And she'll run with them in your fields and at a much earlier age, and she's the only capable that I would feel for doing this particular job. But again, it's sort of a side offshoot of what I'm trying to say. Even if you're doing your F2s and 3s and releasing them on more or less the traditional basis after they're old enough, that's fine. But I'm just trying to say is you can give it an excellent edge, and this hen does her job. And like I'm saying, she's a mom on steroids, and it's a fabulous. It just, I wish I got into that years ago. I just didn't have anybody to explain it to me, and I've always assumed a certain amount of things that, um, but to find this, it should be more well known. That's the idea. It should be more well known, and you can hatch practically anything on her. Um, um, Whatever type of you want to do, and it's got to be more well known. It's the benefits that have through a negative sport, it's all rooster type thing, but you know, you sort of forget about this and never put a two and two together on this, but I'm explaining it to you, and I want to try to definitely get this information more out there. And I'm going to try to find other ways to do it. And I'm thinking that maybe there should be as many as the poultry books you find out there and the catalogs and everything. This end of it is not really written too much about. So maybe there should be a companion book to that and get that out there. That could be another way. But anyways, this is my part 2 on that. Um, Anybody wants to submit any questions, please do. It'll give me a better idea what to further get out there. However, I don't know if there's a lot of chicken people on YouTube, but or wildlife people. But I'm going to get into some other areas. Wood ducks. I'm going to get into black ducks, and I'm going to get into genetics loss, and I'm going to get into some other breeds and other things in all in due time here. But again, this is pretty much an overall. But to get started, you're going to have, you should always have a backup incubator somewhere. And but again, this little piece of information I hope is encouraging, and I'm looking forward to anybody's feedback here. I know there's few people that know exactly what I'm talking about, and it's sort of like taken for granted amongst, you know, other people that just sort of like do things, but don't see the value in it as future generations should actually know. And as a decline in interest in this, and because that's just the way people are. They're living more in cities, and that even pigeon breeders have declined completely. No, not completely, but have dropped. And the expense of these types of hobbies, especially in feed, is also a problem. And people don't want to spend it. But if you enjoy this hobby and it's in your thing to do it, don't let anything stop you. And go with what I'm trying to say here, and keep reading and keep looking for more information. That's the key. Later.